Vice President Kamala Harris is not only the first woman and first woman of color to hold one of the highest offices in the land, she's also the first vice president to be a part of a Black Greek letter organization.
12 News reporter Courtney Carter spoke to the president of the local chapter of the vice president's sorority as they held a watch party for her inauguration and also spoke about what today means to them.
Vice President Harris has placed a spotlight on her membership in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And the Rhode Island chapter got together today to watch virtually as history unfolded. Wearing their pink and green, the signature color of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Rhode Island chapter Theta Psi Omega held a virtual watch party Wednesday to cheer on their sorority sister, Vice President Kamala Harris.
I look calm, but on the inside, I'm like, yay!
Before she was the first female vice president and vice president of color, Vice President Harris was a student at Howard University in the 80s and a member of the Alpha chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
It is such an exciting moment for our sisterhood. I'm so thankful that we as an organization and a chapter have taken the moment to celebrate together.
Clark Hawley says her victory serves as evidence of the possibilities that are now in reach for women of color.
But I think with her taking on this amazing office, which no one has done who looks like us ever in the past, is really why people are stopping to pay attention.
The sorority, founded in 1908, was created for African Americans at a time when they were not allowed into traditional sororities. The organization has more than 8,000 chapters in all 50 states, internationally, and more than 300,000 members.
If we weren't dealing with the times, we would be there. But we are all wearing pink to just let her know how much we are here for her while not present in the Capitol, that we are present throughout this world, cheering her on and also cheering Joe on because they are a unified team.
Now, other historic members of the sorority include names like Coretta Scott King, Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, and the first Black woman in space, Mae Jemison. I'm Courtney Carter, 12 News.
The now official Vice President Kamala Harris is the first woman to hold the office.
But she is also the first person in that office to be part of a Black Greek letter organization.
12 News reporter Courtney Carter spoke to the local president of Harris's sorority as they held a watch party for her inauguration and has the details about what today means to them.
Vice President Harris has placed a spotlight on her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And the Rhode Island chapter got together today virtually to watch as one of their own stepped into history.
So help me God.
On Inauguration Day, the Rhode Island Theta Psi Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is celebrating their sister, Vice President Kamala Harris.
While she is our sorority sister, she is our nation's vice president.
President of the local chapter, Clark Hawley, led a virtual watch party Wednesday to cheer on their sorority sister's inauguration.
And the beaming pride that she also has for our sisterhood. But I think with her taking on this amazing office, which no one has done who looks like us ever in the past, is really why people are stopping to pay attention.
Before the vice president was the first female and woman of color in that office, she was a student at Howard University in the 1980s, where she became a member of the Alpha chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Clark Hawley says her victory serves as evidence of the possibilities for women of color now and in the future.
And I am just so thankful to be alive for this moment. I'm so thankful that we as an organization and a chapter have taken the moment to celebrate together.
The sorority, founded in 1908, was created for African Americans at a time when they were not allowed into traditional sororities. The organization has chapters in all 50 states, internationally, and more than 300,000 members. Now, other historic members of the sorority include names like Coretta Scott King, Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, and the first Black woman in space, Mae Jemison. I'm Courtney Carter, 12 News.